It was in the early morning of June 13, 1933, when a strange light came bursting through the skies of Magineta, Italy. Witnesses claim to have awoken to a sound similar to thunder, only to see a bright anomaly light up the sky. Next day, military vehicles and personnel consumed the landscape of the Italian countryside. Locals were told to keep quiet about the incident, and before long, the secretive Italian government had covered up the phenomenon. It has only been in recent years historians have begun uncovering the secrets and mysteries that surrounded the 1933 UFO recovery. This episode dives into strange accounts, secretive documents, and more, this time on unknown anomalies and biblical connections. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. Sorry, I was feeling patriotic for our home state.
All right, guys, welcome to today's episode of Unknown Anomalies and Their Biblical Connection. How's it going, James?
Don't you mean Jim?
Jim, yes. My name's Samuel. Thank you guys for tuning in today.
I'm supposed to not wear my hat now. I forgot. You can see my beautiful eyes.
All right, James. The listeners have a question.
Jim.
The listeners want to know, when did you first believe in Bigfoot? And by the listeners, I mean myself, because I listen to the show.
I don't know.
Was it like a recent development?
No, I've kind of always thought it doesn't really defy the Bible to have something that we haven't found yet. So I've always wanted to believe, and kind of teetering on whether or not I believe or not, until Haunted Cosmos secured my belief in Bigfoot.
As always, go over to Haunted Cosmos and listen to their episodes.
Because they are much better than us. But do it after us, and please subscribe so that we too can
still
one day
listen to us.
Yeah, so that we too can someday be like Haunted Cosmos. Maybe even better. Maybe they'll recruit us.
Maybe we will be on the Haunted Cosmos team one day.
One day.
Yeah. So I didn't believe in Bigfoot until quite recently, last month or so. But it was very life-changing for me. So James, what are we talking about today?
Jim,
sorry. That's going to get hard to get used to. I'll let you situate. So guys, we're talking about Italian UFOs.
We're talking about the Italian UFO. I got my jacket off in time. That's right.
So
our podcasters are so confused.
They are so confused. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to begin with a quote from UAP Watchers in 2025. Quote, Maria Espino, who was 16 years old in 1933, provided a detailed account in a 1952 interview with local historian Giancarlo Rosi. She described being awakened by a sound like thunder, but continuous, and observed through her window a light so bright it illuminated the entire countryside, but strangely colored, like a flower of the same name as our town, end quote. She further described military vehicles arriving by dawn and local residents being instructed to avoid discussing the incident. Several witnesses independently described unusual health effects in the days following the incident. These included unexplained skin rashes, headaches, and nausea among those who approached closest crash site, symptoms consistent with radiation exposure, though this connection was not recognized at the time, end quote. Thoughts, Jim?
I wasn't doing anything strange behind your back. Thoughts. One, that's pretty cool. That's like, so this was 1933.
Yeah, so actually around this time there were a lot of UFO sightings in Italy, so it wasn't just like an isolated case. There was a lot of activity going on about that time.
Now, something that is very important. Do you know what UAP stands for?
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
I'm proud of you.
All right. Which is just like a fancy way to not say UFO, right?
Yeah.
All right.
UFO earned like the tinfoil hat thing, so they switched to UAP. UAP sounds so much cooler though.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Like, there's like, we have seen UFOs above our house versus like, UAPs spotted above the house.
It's more professional.
Yeah, it's more coolish.
Do you know what UABC stands for?
No, why don't you tell me?
So, UABC, to our listeners, stands for Unknown Anomalies and Their Biblical Connection. Now, you might notice that and the are not acromatized.
Because that would sound stupid and be too many letters.
That'd be way too long, guys.
Wait, UABC?
Yeah.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to UBAC.
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 We gotta call it that. Okay, so we'll start with part one, which is witness accounts. So the main witness who was actually interviewed there, because there weren't a lot of people who spoke out about it, but there are a lot of accounts that have been turned into this, I guess, modern myth or legend surrounding it. But the account that we just referred to was Maria Espino, or Spito, rather. And she talked specifically about when it first happened, how they saw this anomaly and they were like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? There's just like this thunder and light up in the sky. And then the next day, the government shows up with their military vehicles, starts telling people to be quiet and not talk about it. And so there does seem an element here that the government was to some degree involved, not just with telling people to be quiet, but that they actually were investigating what happened there itself, which we'll get into a little bit later. But it is interesting that even the people there were aware that something was happening and that the government was trying to cover it up. What do you think about specifically that case, James?
I think that is very interesting, and I definitely wish that I looked more into this. For some of y'all that think, like, man, this is very strange that, like, one guy seems like he knows nothing about this and the other guy seems very well read. That's because that's the case. He took the lead with this episode.
Yeah. We're going to kind of go back and forth with that.
Yeah.
All right. So, being aware that Maria Espito saw it, there were other people in that area who reported specifically radiation symptoms, which leads us to part two, radioactivity symptoms. So my initial thought hearing this account was they see this light in the sky, they hear a boom like thunder, and the next day a bunch of people get radiation. Could it have been a bomb?
What if it's bomb testing and then the Italian government didn't want them to know they're testing?
Yeah.
So they like dropped this prop UFO there.
That would be interesting. Yeah. I think it is interesting, though, that the government tried to, like, cover it up. Like, if it had been a bomb, maybe they would have been secret about it. Maybe not. I don't know.
But another thing, like, you know, why would they cover up finding a UFO or UAP? Because we had World War II rapidly approaching there.
Yeah.
If they wanted to see if they could get that technology and make weapons.
Okay, the plot thickens so quickly when we get to World War II, when the Americans get involved.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to get into the really interesting story you guys won't want to miss. So
and
stay tuned.
I don't know how accurate this could be.
Yeah.
But I have a big theory about that when I get there.
Uh-huh.
And you correct me if there's anything that contradicts, but I have a big theory when we get there.
All right.
No sooner.
Sounds good. So, talking about radioactivity specifically, if it is, say, an alien or a demon or something of that sort, would it have radioactivity, or would radioactivity simply be reserved for a bomb, you think?
So the thing that gets me about radioactivity is, I don't think they had proper nukes yet. Now, I could be
That
mistaken.
is a good point. That nuclear weapons didn't really come into the picture till World War II.
And if there was a nuke, that'd be like a big, big thing.
Yeah, and it is interesting to point out that nobody really thought it was nuclear until much later. So at the time, it was just like these weird symptoms. So that doesn't necessarily mean it was nuclear. It could have just been there was something else entirely going on that caused these symptoms. Maybe if it is something demonic, like we could talk about a little bit later, that it would have had a similar connotation. James just typed your mom on our doc, so maybe
I did it twice.
You did it twice. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I deleted it though because you scrolled up. It looks like you just like looked at it because I made it like our normal thing is size 11. I made it size 20, put it right where I saw he was, and it looked like he looked at it and he was like so offended and just continued scrolling
No,
up.
I saw you were typing something. I just didn't bother to look. And it wasn't even. No, sorry. I apologize.
Dude, I realized I was so far away from the microphone they might not have heard any of that. I will add subtitles if that was hard to hear.
Yeah. They probably heard you. So.
I hope so.
The government at the time was Mussolini, who was this fascist dictator who ruled Italy with an iron fist. So it does completely track that the government would have wanted to cover this up and would have had the capability to cover it up very well, which does lead into our third part of today's episode, the government cover-up. So James, what are your thoughts on Mussolini trying to blind the public, and what do you think do you think it is possible for the Italians to have like a secret UFO investigation?
What? Sorry, so I was really sorry. I was just focusing on this good. Like lemonade yellow color you keep using to highlight stuff.
Yeah.
Ask it again.
I don't know if they can hear you.
Ask this again.
Yeah. So, do you think that the Italian government had a UFO investigation department, and do you think that it was in their nature to cover up this sort of thing?
I don't know if they had like a specific department for it. Now, depending on, because you said this happened quite a bit, depending on how often it happened, maybe. But I don't think they would have a full department, but I do think it would be worth it to them to try and cover stuff up.
Yeah. So, kind of like in America, you've heard of Project Blue Book? Have you?
I think I've heard the name. I don't remember what it is.
It was like the government's like top secret investigation of UFOs and UAPs.
I have heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, but then they said it wasn't happening, and then it was, and people found out about it. It was a pretty big deal when they discovered it. We'll do that in a different episode. But it is interesting. If the U.S. government is doing it, what's to say this fascist dictator in Italy is not doing it, you know? So what's interesting with the government cover-up is there have been some files from Mussolini's government that have come forward in recent years that have kind of promoted the theory of UFO contact. So specifically in the 1930s, there was cases about this. So Robert Pinotti, have you heard of him?
Robert Pinotti?
Yes. He is
never.
Okay, so he's going to come up a lot in a lot of these sources. He's this prominent UFOologist, social journalist, and specialist specifically in like Italian cases around the 1930s. So he's the one who's like done a lot of research, had access to a lot of top secret documents that most of us can't get our hands on, and he's written a lot of books about UFOs. So in his book UFO Contacts in Italy Volume 2, he says, quote, "Apparently between the 1933 and 1940, there were many different Italian UFO sightings. In one instance, an Italian fighter plane intercepted a UFO between Ravenna and Rome in August 1936. There was multiple UFO sightings, a flying cigar, and 2 Saturn-shaped UFOs over Mestre and Venice," end quote. So, there were lots of these sightings happening at the time. Like talked about between 1933 and 1940. So, leading up and actually going into World War II, they're seeing these weird UFOs. Do you think it would have anything to do with World War II or like Nazi Germany's rise to power? Could it just have been something to do with that, you think?
If it had something to do with Nazi Germany's rise to power?
That was my thought, because this is kind of the time that they were...
UFO sightings, I don't know if...
Or even the Italian rise to power, because the Italians are getting more and more powerful at this point. I just deleted his your mom. Sorry.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to ponder that for a while.
Yeah.
At some point, I'll just like whatever sentence you're in the middle of, I'll be like, I got it, and say this something that like it's some like obscure reference that no one will get, and I'll just interject it for something that's not even worth it, and make everyone mad at me.
So stay tuned. All right. So continuing on in Pinotti's book, it says, quote, "Indeed, in Italy, there were many UFO sightings between 1933 and 1940. So little wonder a secret commission..."
I got it.
Go for it.
I got it. Adolf Hitler was an alien.
That would explain why so many people tried to assassinate him.
Why else would he have such a strange mustache? He's just an alien trying to imitate people, and that's why he like watched media and took Buster Keaton's mustache. I think it's Buster Keaton that had a similar mustache. That's not a real theory, but I had to say something dumb because I made that promise.
I mean, there is like a thought that a lot of people are just UFOs or aliens in disguise. We'll talk about that in a moment.
No. Aliens aren't real.
Right.
They're demons.
We'll talk about that in a moment, though.
We will.
In the present, we will talk about this quote from Pinotti's book, where I left off
You're
at the
gonna
word
give me a present?
commission. In the present, like right now.
We're going to open a present?
Not till Christmas.
Oh.
Sorry, bud. Okay, so where were we? So little wonder a secret commission was established to study them. According to the fascist UFO files we received, so his department received these UFO files and they started going through them and finding out this crazy stuff, which we're talking about here. It was founded by Mussolini along with the fascist ministers Italo Balbo and Galzeria Ciano. Sorry if I butcher those names, but that's the best I got for Italian. And it was headed by Guglielmo Marconi. The first UFO case was in 1931 near Venice. The second is above-mentioned case when on June 13, 1933, a landed UFO was recovered. That's exactly what we're talking about today. We have 3 telegrams, there are 4, concerning the recovery of the USO, and a protocol was sent to the prefect, intended for the Italian Secret Service and the newspaper to order a cover-up of this news. It all began in early 1996 when we received a handful of handwritten notes on stationery bearing the seal of the Kingdom Senate and in mail. The year mentioned in the material was 1936, and the handwritten documents first sent to a certain Bury, by a secret agent using the first name Andrea. There was a sketch of a mysterious airship, end quote. So he's kind of all over the place here, but he talks about how there were telegrams sent out to the Secret Service by the protocol to order that they basically cover up all the news of what happened in this crash in 1933, and it refers to there being the recovery of the UFO, which is pretty insane if you think about how well researched this guy is, how he got these files. He talks about them being sent to him. So these researchers are getting this information and they're writing about it, and we're starting to wonder, A, are these files credible? Can we really trust them? And B, if they are, then what on earth are these UFOs? Any thoughts, Jim?
So let me get this straight. So there's this guy he has all the telegrams that have the information from this thing, and he sends it to Secret Service.
Yes. So this researcher Robert Pinotti got the documents that were like really old at the time. He said he started getting them in 1996, and they were referring to the cases in the 1930s in Italy.
Oh, that's neat. So, like, what are his credentials?
Yes, so he is very, like, and today he is a prominent ufologist, but he's also a journalist. So, like, primarily, even before he became involved in UFOs and stuff, he just was, like, a writer and a researcher, and he was, like, dedicated specifically to academic integrity. So he genuinely believes that this sort of stuff is legit. because he spent so long in journalism and researching this sort of stuff, he's not just going to make up getting this information.
But he like comes from a legitimate past, right? Like he's not just like
he does have a lot of like very well like credentials specifically to that. Yeah.
All right. So he started collecting this. What started him off searching for?
I imagine what started him off was just getting the information to begin with. I don't know if he was like sitting in the office one day and he just gets these top secret classified documents, but he did write a lot about it. So once he really got kickstarted, he writes several volumes of the UFO contact books in Italy, and he does a lot of research around not just the information that he was privately given, but just the general what was going on in Italy and all the UFO contacts and the history surrounding that. So he is a very in-depth researcher, and he's coming up with a lot of really interesting information that's not just from Pinotti. This is information you can get elsewhere as well.
Okay.
His book goes on to talk a lot about the description of these objects, which I think is pretty interesting. So he says, quote, "It was observed in the morning," he writes, "it was a metallic disc, polished and reflecting light with a length of 10 to 12 meters. 2 fighter aircraft from a nearby Air Force base took off, but were not able to reach it, even traveling at 130 kilometers per hour. It did not emit any sound which would lead one to consider an aerostat balloon. Nobody knows of balloons that can fly faster than the wind. I know for sure that it was seen by other pilots. The report arrived in the hands of Ciani, Mussolini's son-in-law, and Italian Minister of Foreign Affairs. Then, after approximately an hour of flying over Mestre, it was seen as a sort of metallic tube, gray or slate in color. A drawing by a confidential informant was redrawn by Andrea, who, as far as the two A and B drawings are concerned, explained that A was described as being kind of aerial torpedo." End quote. So, this is pretty crazy.
That is really interesting. So it was still moving when they. Let me get this straight. So they took off and tried to chase it for a bit.
Yeah. So these 2 fighter pilots are chasing after it, but they're not actually able to reach it because of how fast it's going.
That's really interesting. Do we have a size estimate?
They said it was between 10 and 12 meters, and I know you are well read in European metric system. So how long would that be in feet?
How much feet is that?
I think isn't a meter like a yard?
How long did they say it was? 12
I don't
meters?
think a meter is a yard.
They
said it was like 12 meters at most.
Hey Siri, what is 12 meters in feet?
It's 39.37.
Dang, 39 feet. That's a proper semi truck without its trailer. So that's pretty sizable.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they described it as torpedo, right?
Yeah, it was like a torpedo, grayish metallic tube.
So that's really interesting to me is that they actually gave it, and this is the same one that crashed. They think
this was a different case.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So it's just referring to other Italian cases.
So that is really interesting though that they actually had it, because I bet there's flight records somewhere for this flight.
So initially, because of its size and because of how fast it was going, they thought it was a balloon. But then it talks about how they realized it wasn't making any sound, and it didn't really look like a balloon, so they just didn't believe that it was.
And they said it was going faster than the wind speed, right?
Yeah, so even a balloon couldn't have gone that fast.
Yeah.
So later in the article, it talks about whether these fascist UFO files concerning the 1933 case and the balloon case that we just referred to, or the not the balloon case, as you are well aware. And it says, quote, "Are the fascist UFO files authentic? Obviously, considering the technical forensic analysis conducted for CUN, the answer is positive for me and my colleague Alfredo Lizzoni, who, in the archives of Perfection in Milan, also found about 500 copies of telegraphs of the prefects of the Kingdom of Italy, to the government between 1933 and 1938, some of which concerned the definite reports of unconfidential flying vehicles and showed the attention Italian authorities directed to the problem, so they appeared genuine, in spite of the fact that critics do not accept them as proper historical documents. But even if we consider them only a sort of private correspondence, the fact that they mention the UFO phenomenon in a report dated 1936 cannot be ignored. I mean, that's powerful.
I'm gonna be honest. I was in a world of my own while you read that because I came up with something really neat.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, in the Haunted Cosmos episodes on Skinwalker Ranch, they talk about through the different eras, you see the kind of demonic understanding of like, oh, this is the UFO. All right, let's go back a second for those people that don't listen to Haunted Cosmos. First of all, listen. Second of all, everything's demons, including Skinwalker Ranch. The whole property is a demon now, but has all the phenomenon. Anyways, they always have like the UFOs. Whenever you see them, they're just like one step ahead of what we can do. So, like in the 90s, they have them like they can go straight up, the UFOs. Now we can have them go straight up. So now they go and just stop midair and then go straight up.
Yeah.
And then stop again and go down. Back here, it's just one step ahead, and it's not really making those crazy it's just going way faster, which is something that they couldn't quite do back then.
Yeah. It's like whatever they are, is so they're advancing as we are, but they're advancing faster. But
or it's a demon trying to like make it look like there are these aliens and they're just a little bit ahead of us.
So before we do get into demons, we will talk about extraterrestrial species and it being just an alien from another planet. Before we go into that, just to wrap up this portion on a government cover-up, were there any takeaways specific to the government and Mussolini, or any doubts you have about whether Mussolini was operating a secret UFO investigation?
First of all, I just need to take a minute to just describe to the viewers, because I think they'll appreciate this, how absurd some of these questions are.
Yeah, you guys are going to love it. We're about to get into them.
If the U.S. government has the UFO and Area 51... Oh, no. I went back. I left it.
We got to wait for those questions, though. We have them coming up.
Oh.
That's when we get into at the end.
I want to read them now.
They're good.
They're hilarious. Can I read the one about the battle?
No, that won't make any sense until we get to the last part.
Okay.
You are going to like it, though,
boss.
so stay tuned. This is a good point to take a break, step back, and remind you to like and subscribe, because we've got lots of new content coming up.
We do, in fact, have lots of new content coming up.
We got some exciting episodes we're filming even later today, so be ready.
We have some exciting videos that we're filming even later today, so be ready.
But they won't come out until next week.
And they won't come out until next week.
Exactly.
This might not come out until next week.
This definitely won't come out until at least
the next week from when you're watching this. Unless you're watching it like a week after it was posted, then like
then
get
it won't make
a
any
life.
sense.
Like click that bell button so that you don't have to watch it late.
Yeah.
I get way too close to this microphone. Hello.
You don't want to be the guy who doesn't watch the video until a week after it's posted.
Yeah, you want to be that guy that's like the first one to comment. If you are the first one to comment,
please comment.
Then I will give you the amazing reward of making me smile.
If he sees the
because
comment.
I will be happy. Well, if it's the first one, I'll see it. I hope.
Yeah.
I hope.
And like this video too.
I will just sit there staring over the statistics until somebody comments.
All right. So I'm sure you all are ready to get back into the episode. You all are busy people. So now that we have determined that it is a secret government operation investigating UFOs during the 1930s and into 1940, we need to investigate what these really are. So James, do you want to take part 4, which is extraterrestrial species? Is this just ET?
I do not personally believe in aliens. I believe that they're demonic deception because Jesus died on the cross for us, not someone on some other planet, and I doubt that he went to several different planets to die on the cross there and there and there, because there's no reason for him making a bunch of different planets. He has his followers in heaven and he has his followers here. I think that there's no point of having other planets, and
It does seem to take away from Christianity if you're like, well, he loves us, but he also loves this other planet and this other species, especially if there's like conflict between them, you know.
and I think it also stands out as like it supports evolution a lot.
Yeah.
So it could really, the demons would not hesitate, I believe, if there are. Because the thing with demons that Haunted Cosmos, listen to them, have determined is they take their opportunities when you open yourself up to them. So,
Yeah.
like, for instance, if you think, like, oh, I'm going to go ghost hunting, then demons will take advantage of that. And this is, I think, a Lord of the Rings reference that they use, but it's a reference that's, like, almost dead-on accurate. To Tash you have called, to Tash you will go. I haven't read Lord of the Rings, so I wouldn't understand, but that's something they say.
And y'all Lord of the Rings fans are going to love this next episode. Like, not this episode, but the next episode.
I haven't ever watched the movies or read it, so I'm excited.
Yeah. Have you read The Hobbit, though?
No.
No? Okay.
I've heard, like, the first part.
Okay.
Um,
So, it's
but...
Sorry, you go ahead.
Hold on. So basically, if scientists are like looking through these, let's find a different planet on the Goldilocks zone that could support evolutionary life, then that is opening themselves up, even if they're not like, I'm gonna go demon hunting. So that could be a place where demons take advantage and try to make an appearance as a alien.
Yeah, I think that's really good because there's not a lot of people who just wake up and are like, I want to see a demon today. But there's a lot of people who want to find out if aliens are real, or want to like seek out that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So I definitely think that demons could latch onto that and kind of take it to the next level.
And that's why, even us, we enjoy talking about and hearing these creepy stories, but you don't just go ghost hunting in like a place that you have heard all these terrible things have happened, because you're calling upon something. You're telling something, hey, I'm open to this. Come do something terrible. And that's something with Ouija boards and stuff, is you're calling upon forces to just make an appearance and push you farther from Christ.
Which, if you think about, like, Bigfoot sighting, it's like the vast majority of Bigfoot sightings are people seeking Bigfoot, Mm-hmm. It's rarely somebody who's just, like, walking in the woods and sees him.
And then they can take advantage of that and say, oh, well, actually, Bigfoot is a spiritual being, and you should worship Bigfoot.
Yeah.
And as absurd as that sounds...
There's some absurd people out there.
Oh, no. Teeth marks in my hat.
Oh no!
I ride my bike with my hat, but I have to wear my helmet, so I'll ride my bike with my hat in my mouth. So it's just teeth marks now.
That's crazy. All right, so we've established it's not an extraterrestrial species from another planet, and if you do have any doubts about that, we will address that in more depth in a later episode. But for the time being, we are going to move on to part 5, which is it a demon? Is it a spiritual entity? I think you have already expressed your belief in this topic, which leads us to some interesting questions. James, you've been waiting for this.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, go for it.
I want your, do you agree with me, or do you think that there may be... I should talk near the microphone. Do you agree with me, or do you believe that there may be like some other, maybe not like traditional, we have a soul... Yeah. We have a eternal soul. Maybe it's like another creature, but it's a smart creature.
I don't know. What does make me hesitate to say there's no life anywhere else in the universe is that, like, they found, like, bacteria on Mars. They found, like, I don't know. It's not, like, life, but it's, like, there's, like, something alive there. So it's, like, well, maybe there's not, like, another civilized intellectual species like humans, but there's nothing to say that there's not, like, another planet that could inhabit life, and there's not, like, I don't know, animals there.
Like, there could be, like, a few rats that like...
Or like cockroaches, because cockroaches can survive anything. anywhere. They like say if there was a nuclear war, that cockroaches would be the only thing to survive.
Let's see if my cockroach that I find in my house survives me taking them, putting them on a piece of duct tape, duct taping that piece of duct tape to the front of a freaking 12 gauge and letting it rip. Let's see if that sucker survives.
All right. Do you want to go through some of the questions to consider we wrote up? Because you've been waiting for this.
So excited.
Do you just want to start at the top and I can answer them, or you can answer
dude, I've been laughing so hard at some of these. What is a UFO?
Unidentified flying object.
Is it non-human technology?
Yes.
Is it a hoax?
No.
Is it demons?
Maybe.
Is it another government?
Maybe.
Is it aliens?
Probably not.
Are aliens spiritual beings like demons?
I could see that.
Where is it today?
It is in Area 51. Which is the next question.
If the U.S. government has it, is it in Area 51?
Yes, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
If UFOs are demonic, how is it that they have a physical saucer? Can I answer this one?
Yeah, go for it.
Because demonic beings can sometimes, they can... So here's my thing that gets me, like, there's another thing, Haunted Cosmos. I take a lot of reference from them because they're really, really good at this. And if somehow, by some miracle, Haunted Cosmos, y'all are listening to me, we're not trying to steal your thunder. We like what y'all do. We want to do it on a smaller scale with smaller stories. But I think that, like, so they mentioned, like, a lot of people will see, like, these fighter jets and they don't move quite right, or they'll be too small, or like a helicopter without rotors, and we think it's like demons, but they don't get it quite right. So it makes me wonder if they have, like, it takes some amount of energy to manifest themselves into our physical world, or if maybe they're just trying to do it slightly off to creep us out. But I do definitely think that they can... I don't think that when they're here, they're just like a shadow, because they can definitely harm people physically. So I don't think they're just like a shadow that, like, oh, you see it, but you move through it.
Yeah. Do you want to take the next question?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Here it is. Was it an earthbound demon crashing from the other side of the universe?
No.
No? Can demons...
I'll take this one.
Yeah?
No, I'll take reading it. You can answer it.
Sure, yeah.
Can demons accidentally crash? Or was it all part of the plan?
Yeah, this is what I was thinking about, is like, is it an accident? Like, was it something that they were forced to crash, or was it just like, did they really want humans to see this? Was it all part of the plan? I don't know. It's something that we'll probably be talking about over the next episode, or maybe even over the next season, really. But it is interesting to think about. And I don't think there's necessarily a right answer to this, simply because we don't know. But I don't know. What would you think, James?
I would think that my name is Jim.
Jim, sorry.
No, it's fine. I would think that it's... I think that they want us to see it, so that it pushes us away to that kind of evolutionist look at things.
Do you think that God caused it to crash? Like,
that's the next question.
Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted to take it. But
yeah.
if there's like a spiritual war, is it like they're all like fighting God, and he just like grabs one of them and chucks it down to earth?
The spiritual war, I think that's like figuratively. I don't think it's like there's fighter UFOs going around and the angels and demons are battling each other. I think it's the believing in God versus rejecting God. And so I think the war part, I do think that there are angels stopping demons from doing certain things to
like
certain
outside
people.
Of the physical world, though, like, do you think that there is like like flip side of the alternate universe where there's like a spiritual realm where there's a war going on.
I don't think that there's just like a straight up combat field
Yeah,
there. I definitely do think that like here on Earth there's angels preventing demons, and there may be some sort of like they're doing something in another world. I doubt it, because we only hear about the three: heaven, earth, and hell. And I don't really think that there's just like another place where they're just fighting for the sake of fighting, because they can't really die.
Yeah.
Now, this is my favorite question because it's the most absurd. Was it all part of a invisible spiritual war that momentarily blasted through the spiritual and physical world, dividing wall, and then discovered by humanity? That is the new title to this episode.
In one word, yes.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we should make the title one
No.
word, and it's
Yeah.
that.
How do you summarize that in
No
one word?
spaces. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
We might fit that in the description somewhere, though.
Yeah. Is it the flying saucer? Saucer. Is it the flying saucer? Is the flying saucer just another form that demons hide under to distract and disregard themselves from humans?
That's a good question. I think it is interesting because a lot of times people will, like, see a UFO and they'll like make fun of it and laugh it off, And I feel like that would be something demons would want, is that they want you to just like either completely deny its presence or to seek it out, And I feel like that's kind of the two reactions people get to UFOs. Mm-hmm. So I feel like for us and what we're trying to do with this podcast is for us to like not fear the unknown, not fear like accepting that's true, but also like once we know it's true, then we like have to like look at that in the right way,
Yeah. So yeah, I agree.
All right. We've talked a lot about the spiritual war and the demons, which leads us to part 6. This is where the plot really thickens, guys. The U.S. capture. Mm-hmm. So, are you aware?
Real quick,
Yeah.
before that, I think we should make this kind of a motto for the show. Like Haunted Cosmos, they have
Yeah.
a world that's not just stuff.
Uh-huh.
Ours, I think it could really be. It's a powerful thing, a powerful statement. Stop fearing the unknown and start fearing God. Because there's the God-fearing in the Bible, and it's not meaning like, oh, I'm afraid of God. It means like fear and respect and realize God.
Yeah. That's good. So, concluding the demon section, anything you want to take away from that before we move on?
No, I think that about covers it.
All right. So, as you are well aware, the U.S. won World War II.
What?
I know Jim for one would know that.
I thought that like I'm a World War II reenactor. I thought that I wasn't a reenactor. I thought I was just like still part of the war.
Still happening, yeah.
Guys, I don't act. Oh my gosh. Yes, I'm aware that World War II's ended.
So there's not a ton of evidence specific to this, but there is a train of thought, and there's a lot of articles that touch on this idea that after World War II, basically the UFO was in Italy, the UFO was being studied there still, and then the U.S. government came in, captured it, and took it back to the States somewhere, obviously Area 51, and it's still there today. What are your thoughts on that theory, James? Or Jim?
That camera turned off. So, first of all, I can't take you calling me James or Jim. It's too weird.
Okay.
Just stick with James.
Sounds good.
When he says James, he's meaning Jim. At least say Jim one time per episode, though, for the new viewers. Anyways, repeat the question.
Yeah, so the theory of the U.S. government taking the UFO back. Yeah.
All right, here's my unhinged theory that I was referencing way earlier.
That's what we need more of.
You correct me if this is like way off and couldn't be right, but okay. Have you listened to Han Cosmos episode or researched at all Operation Paperclip?
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I've listened to their episode on it.
It predates MK Ultra,
Okay.
and it's America took Nazi scientists and they kind of contracted themselves to do experiments.
Wow.
So, here's my theory.
Okay.
Okay? Hear me out. This is a very unhinged theory, and I'm not sure I believe it, but I'm gonna propose this theory. So, these demons, they crash. Okay. Mussolini, he was teamed up with Hitler, wasn't he? He was, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay. So, the Germans, that's where some of that influence and that kind of area of the Axis group, having that demonic creature thing in their possession, kind of lended some of their just terrible things they would do in like concentration camps and stuff. Okay, America takes it over, and that's where they get this evil idea to start testing on civilians with Operation Paperclip and eventually MK Ultra.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you think of that?
I think it could very well be.
I think maybe. I think probably not,
Yeah.
but I think maybe.
Yeah. I definitely think that the U.S. could have had the capability to take the UFO home, and I don't think that the Italian government could have kept that secret from them.
I think they could have, personally, because the time period, because it's not really like a hack in. If they keep it in a vault in the middle of a
Yeah.
shed in the middle of France,
Yeah,
and they like
Italy.
it's like a in the middle of
Yeah.
Italy, and it's like a need to know.
That's
Like
true, yeah.
this guy knows where America couldn't have like easily found that.
I mean, they also could have like I'm not trying to like sell the opposite case here, but they could have destroyed it. Once they had done the research on it, they're like, we can't let the Americans get it. They destroy it, kind of like you would if you're like, the enemy's going to take over where you're at. You like destroy all your equipment and then have to leave.
Yeah. So my thought is I don't think they could destroy it if it's like a demonic thing, because
Yeah.
there's like Skinwalker Ranch, there's the whole like where they shot the wolf, and like the most they could get out of it was like several shots from a 357 Magnum and a 30-06
And it's,
rifle,
like, doing
just
fine.
dislodged
Yeah.
one little bit of flesh, which that rotting smell I think was supposed to be another trick of deceit to
Yeah.
put it into that old, oh, this is the witches thing, you can do magic and you can
Yeah.
so I think that demons, I don't think there's really anything that people can do to destruct them. And if demons can have some sort of influence being in the American area, I don't think that's something they would fake for the Italians is,
Yeah.
oh, you can actually destroy me.
Yeah, and it's interesting because this case, it's not like something that we've known about for a long time. In fact, it didn't really come forward until like the last couple decades. So if the government has had it, which obviously they could have, they've obviously kept it very secret, which follows through with what we know about the U.S. government and their aliens discovery. But also that if they do have it, that it's probably hidden somewhere like Area 51 or somewhere where, there's not a lot of people who have access to it.
Yeah, that very well could be. Now, my thing with Area 51 is because that's always been the joke and everything.
Yeah.
Where did the aliens in Area 51 thing come from? Is that like a legitimate, like, there have been sightings of, like...
Yeah. There was, I think a UFO
UFO.
crash in Roswell, which is, by Area 51. And then also out of Area 51, there's come a lot of, airplanes that have been, very sophisticated. I'm not 100% clear on that, so don't, quote me on it, but that's my understanding.
I'm going to quote him on it, and I'm going to put it in my quote book.
Yeah, do
No,
that.
I'm not. I'm not.
So, yeah, it could be in Area 51, but obviously the major implication for this episode is that 100% the Italian government found a UFO, and they kept it secret under Mussolini, and we don't know what it is, except we do. So, James, what's your takeaway in part 7, our concluding analysis? As always, we wrap it up and talk about what we think it is. What's your thoughts, James?
I think it is demonic deception.
Yeah.
To try and give us a more evolutionary mindset and possibly even aid the Axis in the horrors that they committed.
All right, that's a solid takeaway. Yeah, I don't think that it is just like, I don't know, E.T. homing phone, if you get that reference.
I, for one, don't.
You haven't watched E.T.?
I have. It's been like a while.
Wow. You need to watch E.T. tonight.
It's tonight, movie night.
Yeah. Let's watch E.T. right after this. So, yeah, I definitely think that it very well could be something demonic. Yeah, I definitely think that the government was covering something up, obviously. But, yeah, I think demons is probably our best takeaway from that.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for tuning in. If you're still around now, then you are one of the lucky ones.
How are you lucky? You are lucky because you are.
You got to listen to this entire episode.
Anyways, we encourage anyone who isn't a believer who may be watching this to repent and follow Christ. It is a better way of life, and that is our main goal in this show, is to make people stop fearing the unknown and possibly even make it not as unknown. And there will always be stuff that we don't know, because the Bible, the source of all our spiritual information, just simply doesn't cover everything. It tells us how to save ourselves and have eternal life with God,
and we're not trying to like come up with outlandish theories that are like, we're not trying to know everything, but like, if there's information out there, there's no reason we shouldn't investigate it. And I think that I think that would be God's will for us, is to like figure out what's going on in Earth and to like be aware of the spiritual realm,
And it is also just there's a certain amount of kind of having dominion over something if you figure out what it is.
Yeah.
So with that, we would appreciate it if you could like and subscribe and share this video to your friends. And we're really excited to come out with more stuff like this.
We love doing this podcast, and we will see you guys next time.
Yeah, and hopefully the good Lord will use us to help people find their spiritual home.
And if you're listening to this Haunted Cosmos, keep listening.
Keep listening.
We'll see you guys.